Welcome to BBC London, I'm Tarah Welsh. Well, Bromley has been buzzing today, and you've probably heard why. 18-year-old Emma Raducanu won the US Open final, and her victory has stunned the nation. But Alison Earle has been to her hometown to get reaction. Despite the global pandemic, thousands came to central London to march against deaths, black deaths in police custody.
You've really got to be here to appreciate the size of this and to feel the strength of feeling here, really. And people from all backgrounds have turned out today, all ages, but there's one message, that there needs to be big changes.
Tomorrow is the 4th anniversary of the Grenfell Tower fire, which killed 72 people. Despite promises of permanent homes for those who survived, 4 years on, some are still in temporary accommodation. Helen Drew went to meet one of them. On the Black Lives Matter movement, what has it meant to you, and what do you want to come out of it?
I've been cheering, I've been cheering. So even we've been going to the protest, and I haven't been going there to grab the mic. I've just been saying, yo, this is sick. One thing I really want this movement to do is show what it means to be black. You hear so much rhetoric, like, all lives matter. Why do Black Lives Matter more? Learn it. And it's like, bruv, do you not understand? If we weren't oppressed, we wouldn't be shouting. We would just be living our lives.
Super stressful, actually. The worst. I've been a nurse for 38 years, and this is the worst I've ever seen.
We've heard how stressed they are, but they're just so professional. They're wearing this heavy gear, it's hot, it's hard to breathe, and yet here they are, kind of 12 and a half hours a day. And you kind of wonder how they've been doing this day in and day out for months and months and months now.
Lockdown exacerbated London's divide, visible at food banks, but most starkly in the statistics. Key workers were dying at a much higher rate than the rest of the population. But the people keeping London going kept working.
Hello, ladies. Hello, stranger.
Last night I went to see Hayley again. She's been shielding for months, but now she's working and can finally have a drink with her best friend.
Sort of 6 months. What's it been like?
Horrific. You can't see your loved ones, and that's what killed me. I couldn't see my nieces, couldn't see my nan.
Tara's with me now. It feels quite emotional seeing the timeline and effect of it all.
Yeah, I think it's been hard for everyone, hasn't it? I know this has been the most difficult time for me personally and professionally ever, I think. And, I feel that some of that concern is creeping in again with people as those cases rise and restrictions. Well, we've seen the desperate images of people trying to leave Kabul. Well, one woman from Harrow has been speaking to BBC London about being caught up in the chaos. Peymana Assad, who's a local councillor, came to Britain as a refugee when she was a child. She was on holiday in Afghanistan to meet Shan.
This is my mum's bedroom.
She says they've been plagued by leaks for a decade now. This is what happened after the last one.
If she was asleep in here, that would have collapsed and fallen on her.
It's been 2 weeks since it happened. Her mum can't go in the room as she finds it too upsetting. She tells us she's been diagnosed with PTSD. She says she's had at least 8 leaks.
Too much. And I don't understand why they always have to wait until things get really, really bad before they come out, and it's like you're begging for help. I'm a human being. I don't deserve to be living like this.
Andy, she's had 8 leaks. She just wants to move. Will you move her?
Yes.
You will move her?
We'll do what she wants.
London Eye. And they certainly hope it will start to get busier very soon, Tara.
Yeah, Assad, it's St Patrick's Day today, isn't it? And usually London would be heaving, wouldn't it? But the only way to tell is by looking at the London Eye and seeing it's lit up in green tonight. But as you say, things should be changing soon. And Welcome to BBC London, I'm Tarah Welsh. Police are investigating after a woman in East London confronted 2 men who she claims pretended to be officers to get inside her flat. Well, Sonia Jessup has been looking into this. And Sonia, I understand
It's hard to resolve issues. Tarah Welsh has the story.
It's called Charles Dickens' house, and those living here have likened it to a Victorian slum. How would you describe living in Charles Dickens' house?
Horrible.
They see us as less than nothing. Stressful, depressing.
We went to speak to people about some of the issues. Vermin, disrepair and leak after leak. This one was recently in Vanessa's bedroom.
It basically felt like a pipe had burst and was just gushing from somewhere.
A group of artists in South London could soon be the owners of their very own pub. Well, almost. They've been renting the former Rising Sun in Camberwell and converted it into a living and creative.
My mum shouldn't have to tell me, make sure you get a cab, like when you're outside of the station, because I don't want you walking by yourself.
Shayna is 18 and does all the things many women feel they have to stay safe. As a footballer, she has to travel to play in the evenings. I wanted to find out how she and her teammates were feeling as the nights get darker.
They obviously felt comfortable sharing those images with 40 members of staff. That's a problem with culture, if they thought they could get away with that, surely.
So you were talking about two officers who shared appallingly insensitive and
but of course very sad news, and we've just had that in this evening. Now, I've been out in the storm since this morning, and it felt like nothing I've ever covered before. It felt quite dangerous at times, and there were times that you'll see in my piece in a moment where me and my cameraman felt we needed to shelter because you just couldn't walk in it at times. So we started our day in Richmond this morning. Now in Kingston it feels a little bit calmer, but as you can see there's no one around. It's Friday night, it would usually be absolutely heaving, but many things have closed today. Many people taking precautions, even COVID vaccination sites have been closed. Sorry, something just fallen on our light. That's how windy it still is. Anyway, I'll leave you with my report starting in Richmond this morning. Welcome to BBC London, I'm Tarah Welsh. The Met says it's drafting in officers from other forces this weekend as they prepare for a bank holiday of protests and other
zones. Tara is in Trafalgar Square and I hope you can hear us over the noise and excitement, I imagine.
I can hear you loud and clear, Riz. And I tell you what, Chris is there to tell you about the sport and the football. I'm just here to tell you about the atmosphere. And I tell you what, it's a good one. The sun's out, people are...
It's going to tilt.
Has anyone ever fallen off?
No.
Speeding down the Thames at 30 knots. Before I knew what I'd signed up for, we were off.
Wow! How's that?
It felt faster than it looks, and it was a rush.
OK, that's it from me. We'll be back just after 10 o'clock. Bye for now.